all this talk about a potential #1 wide receiver coming to Buffalo, what if he's already there? Let's talk about Robert Foster. Could he be the next #1 in Buffalo? Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and in that intro it describes everything we're going to talk about in this video. However, before we do that, again, my name is Joe. Thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. If you're new to this channel, first of all, welcome. Welcome to Believers Talk. Hit that subscribe button, because on this channel we talk all Buffalo Bills news, all rumors, everything we can talk about Buffalo Bills related, we're going to give you right here on Believers Talk. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. We also go live stream. We live stream every single Buffalo Bills game every Sunday. Every Sunday, we're here live, giving you play-by-play and reaction for that video. So if you've joined my live stream before, you know how much fun it can be. Share this video, leave a like, leave a comment. We'll happily talk about it. So in this video, we are going to talk about if Robert Foster, currently Buffalo Bills #1 wide receiver, can be our #1 long-term. Has it ever happened before? Has an undrafted wide receiver ever been a team's consistent #1 wide receiver? And I give you my list of the top 5 undrafted free agents, undrafted wide receivers ever to do it, at least according to what I saw on cheatsheet.com. That's where I got this top 5 list from. So we're going to go through the top 5 that they had. If I miss a name, or if you disagree with this list and you say, hey, what about this guy? Hey, what about this guy? Hey, what about this guy? Leave it in the comment section below. Happy to talk to you guys about any of the names you feel like got snubbed out of this list. But we'll start with number 5. Number 5, they had Miles Austin. If you're a fan of the game, if you've been a fan of the game for a little bit, you know who Miles Austin is. Tony Romo was a huge Miles Austin fan, played for the Dallas Cowboys for most of his career, ended his career with 361 receptions, 5,273 yards, and 37 touchdowns. Not bad at all for an undrafted wide receiver. Again, played most of his career with Dallas, was always kind of there. One of those guys that you kind of forgot about until he made a play, right? Like, you forgot Miles Austin was on the team, you worry about Dez Bryant, you worry about some of those guys, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, there's Miles Austin, that's right. You know, Jason Witten was on that team a lot, so you remember those guys, but then it's like, oh yeah, Miles Austin. A lot of you might remember Miles Austin. I do. He was consistent, he was good, nothing great, nothing to write home about, but for an undrafted wide receiver, he definitely made a career of it in the NFL. Number 4, you go to Victor Cruz, the salsa dancing. If you remember Victor Cruz, every time he scored a touchdown, he'd be dancing a little bit, giving you a little something, you know, and that was before the NFL made this new rule about how you can celebrate and stuff. You know, he was the first guy to really do it of this new generation. So Victor Cruz, number 4 undrafted wide receivers to best wide receivers, I should say. 303 receptions in his career, 4,549 yards, and 25 touchdowns. You can argue, I believe there was a time where Victor Cruz was the #1 wide receiver for the New York Giants. I don't think it lasted long, but I think there was stretches in there where he was the #1, whether it be because of injury or something like that. So I think it was at least a season or 2, if I'm not mistaken. Number 3, and Bills fans, especially older Bills fans, you'll know this name. Late 90s, early 2000s, this guy was a thorn in the side of a lot of AFC East teams and a lot of teams around the league. New York Jets wide receiver Wayne Chrebet. Wayne Chrebet was an undrafted rookie wide receiver who did pretty good for himself. He's number 3 on this list here as far as undrafted wide receivers, where they rank. 580 receptions in his career, 7,365 yards, and 41 touchdowns. Not bad at all. Have yourself a career young man. And then number 2 is a guy still currently playing in the NFL. Can't believe that this guy, went undrafted now that you see the career path that he's had. Wes Welker. But you talk about his career mostly with the Patriots. What do the Patriots do best? Get the most out of their talent, and they definitely did it here with Wes Welker. Whether you say he was a benefactor of the system, of the quarterback or backs that he played for, doesn't matter. He has had a great career. Talking about over 900 receptions, 903 receptions to be exact, 9,924 yards, and 50 touchdowns. I mean, it's nice to be, you know, receiving the ball for a guy named Tom Brady, and then when you're finally not receiving the ball for Tom Brady, you go to a guy named Peyton Manning. I mean, it makes it a little easy catching the ball from these 2 guys, 2 of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it, but still you can't argue with success, and that's what he's had. A few Super Bowl rings in there too. So he's our number 2. And number 1, A little bit. Some of you young fans might not know this name, but some of you might as well. Great wide receiver for the Denver Broncos back in their Super Bowl days. Rod Smith. Rod Smith is the #1 undrafted wide receiver according to CheatSheet.com. So Rod Smith had 849 receptions in his career, 11,389 yards, and 68 touchdowns. And again, a few Super Bowls with that John Elway character as well. That's something you can say about a few of these quarterbacks, of these wide receivers. They played for some pretty good, maybe even some Hall of Fame worthy quarterbacks. You talk about Rod Smith with John Elway. You talk about Wes Welker with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Talk about Wayne Corbett. You have Vinny Testaverde, not going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying that, but Vinny Testaverde was a good quarterback, veteran quarterback, so he knew how to get the ball. And then you have Chad Pennington a little bit too. And then you look at Victor Cruz, of course, with Eli Manning. There's an argument, of course, whether Eli will or will not be in the Hall of Fame, but he does have 2 Super Bowl rings. You can't argue with that. And he knows how to throw the ball to his own team. That's another story, but he knows how to throw the ball. And then Miles Austin, of course, Tony Romo, who maybe was a ring or two shy from being a Hall of Fame quarterback, but still a pretty good quarterback. So has it been done before? You look at Rod Smith and you say, yes, it has. However, Rod Smith, when he began his career, had a veteran receiver in Edward McCaffrey to learn from, and I think that's what's missing here. Can Robert Foster be the #1 wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills long term? Great question. I really believe that's a good question. I mean, we've seen in his 2 starts this year, those are the 2 games where he's gone over 100 yards. So can he do it? Maybe. But can he do it the way the roster is set up now? No. I don't believe he can. See, in order for him to be a #1, he's going to need a veteran guy to learn from. And the best veteran we have on our team right now as a wide receiver is Deontay Thompson. And no offense to Deontay Thompson, I like Deontay Thompson, okay? But he's not a #1 receiver. He's not even a #2 receiver. He's that 3rd, 4th guy on your team who you use in like shotgun 5 wide type sets. And that's fine. You need those too. That's not a problem. I like Deontay Thompson, but that's not going to be good enough to turn Robert Foster from this guy, the guy he is now, maybe the best #2, to a #1 wide receiver. Let's talk about Robert Foster for a little bit. I feel like Robert Foster, some people might not know his story. So Robert Foster went to school in the same state that I'm in. He went to high school in Pennsylvania, went to Central Valley in Minoka, PA. It's actually pretty far away from me. It's on the whole other west side of Pennsylvania. It actually might even be closer to Buffalo than where I am in Lancaster. But he went to Minoka, Pennsylvania. He went to Central Valley High School. That's right on the other side of Pittsburgh, so it's pretty much as far west in the state as you can get, but that's where he went to high school. Coming out of high school, he was listed as the #2 wide receiver out of the country. #2 wide receiver in the country. So this guy was very highly touted. Like, he was very highly regarded as far as seeing after him, like getting him on your team. And who did it? Who got him on their team? Of course, Alabama, right? Where all the top prospects go. You win some national championships, even if you sit on the bench. And unfortunately for Robert Foster, when you play on a team like Alabama, no matter how good you are, if you're not good immediately, you kind of fall back on that depth chart a little bit. Okay, and Robert Foster fell victim to circumstance. Didn't play his freshman year. Second year out there, in 3 games, he had 10 catches for 116 yards and 2 scores. That's in 3 games. That's not terrible. It's not terrible. However, then he had a shoulder injury, took him out the rest of the season. Done. And then again, you're at a place like Alabama. What does Alabama do? Get 5-star recruits at every position all the time. So if you miss time, someone's going to pass you. And we saw it with Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley had a great career at Alabama. Kind of left Robert Foster in his dust. So Robert Foster goes down the depth chart. In 2017, he had 14 catches for 174 yards and a touchdown. So overall in his Alabama career, 35 catches, 389 yards, 3 scores. Doesn't sound that great. In fact, some of you might be asking, well, wow, is he invited to the combine? Great question. His athleticism. He's one of the most athletic wide receivers coming out of high school to college, okay? So he was invited to the combine to show us what he can do because he believes he has the talent to be in the NFL. What does he do? He just makes the 5th best 40 time out of wide receivers. 4.41 seconds. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. 4.41 second 40 time. So what happens? He doesn't get drafted, right? No one drafts him. That's fine. Buffalo Bills sign him. Buffalo Bills sign him, and week 2 against the Chargers, he recorded his first catch. So let's talk about what he's done since then. In 14 weeks, it doesn't sound good, guys. He's had 15 receptions, 360 yards, and 1 touchdown. Okay. But again, in his two starts, those are the 2 games he's gotten over 100 yards receiving. You talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars game, and you talk about the game this past Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, it means we need to start Robert Foster more, right? We need to see what this kid's got. Not only do we need to see what the kid behind the center has, and Josh Allen, we do. We need to see what Robert Foster has. I mean, I still remember the first pass of preseason. Does everyone remember Josh Allen's first pass this preseason? Bombed it long for who? Robert Foster. Now he let him out of bounds. Would love to keep him in bounds there, but first pass of the game was that connection. And that connection seems to be continuing to grow, to keep growing, and that's great. And I want to see that. I think we all want to see that. We all want to see continued growth with Zay Jones. We all want to see continued growth with Robert Foster. Hell, we would love to see continued growth with Raymond McLeod, who we haven't seen much of this season. But, like I said before, even Rod Smith had Ed McCaffrey. And Ed McCaffrey wasn't a great wide receiver. I'm not trying to fool anybody. I'm not saying he was. He was good. He was decent. He was solid. Nothing wrong with Edwin McCaffrey. I'm sure maybe if he had a lesser quarterback, not John Elway, maybe he wouldn't have been so good, but still serviceable, right? But he was that veteran presence that Rod Smith needed to bounce ideas off of, to see how it's done the right way. And that's what Robert Foster needs. So maybe drafting wide receiver isn't as important, although we went over the wide receiver depth chart in free agency. It's not that great. You have some good veteran leaders on there who can come in, show a young guy the ropes, and say, this is how you do it in the NFL. I'm talking about Larry Fitzgerald. Listen, I love Larry Fitzgerald. I would hate to see him not in an Arizona Cardinal jersey. He should retire as an Arizona Cardinal. But if I'm going to see him in any other team's jersey, sorry, wrong side, I want it to be the Buffalo Bills. Our Bills, baby. And Larry Fitzgerald can teach you how to do things the right way. That's what I'm saying. Everyone talks about Funchess. You know, Funchess might not be the greatest wide receiver in the world, but he's been there. He's been doing it for so long over in Carolina, free agent this year. We'll see what happens. You know, I always liked Enunwa from the Jets. Enunwa is a younger wide receiver, but he's been here a few years now. Can he show him a thing or two? Maybe. And then, of course, there's a huge name that's going to be a free agent. Tore his ACL earlier this year. You got Dez Bryant. You know, a lot of people would question Dez Bryant's leadership ability, and I would be one of them. But if he's willing to come in, if he's willing to teach this wide receiver core how to be what they can do, to strive to be the best they can be, and also help us win in the meantime, then I say bring him in. It wouldn't hurt to bring him in at all. So bring him in if that's what he's here to do. If he's willing to teach these young guys how to do it and still help us win in the meantime. Listen, Dez is going to have a lot to prove, right? Especially if he wants to continue his NFL career. If he wants to continue his NFL career next season, he's going to have a lot to prove because a lot of teams are going to be afraid to sign him after that ACL injury with his age. So if that's the kind of guy we can get in here, then let's bring him in. If he's willing to help this team grow, Robert Foster grow, then we need him. Then let's take him. But so my thoughts on Robert Foster being number one wide receiver long term, can it happen? Statistically, the odds are against it happening, but can it? Yes. However, it cannot happen with this roster set up the way it is right now. Robert Foster needs a veteran to learn from. He needs a veteran guy to bounce ideas off of. He needs a veteran guy to learn how to do it the right way, both on and off the field. Okay? Again, this guy, number 2 coming out of high school wide receiver. He didn't get that because he's not talented. He's talented. He's got the talent. Now we got to get converted over to the NFL. Unfortunately, he didn't get a lot of playing time in Alabama. Whether it be because of injury, whether it be because of Calvin Ridley and others passing him on the depth chart, whatever it is, didn't get a lot of playing time. So now he has his chance. What can he do with it? I look forward to watching no matter what it is, and we'll definitely find out what he has in these last 3 games. I hope you look forward to watching, and you can watch, at least listen to the play-by-play reaction here live. Like I said, every Sunday we're here live giving you live a reaction and play-by-play of the Buffalo Bills games. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, be sure to do so below. Hit that subscribe button. Once you subscribe, hit that notification bell, because not only do we go live every Sunday, we go live throughout the week, whether it be Monday for a post-game recap, whether it be Thursday sometimes for the pregame of the week coming up. We go live a bunch, so hit that notification bell. Be sure to join us every Sunday. Hit that subscribe button. I look forward to seeing you in the comment section, and hit that like button because that helps me out a lot and I appreciate it. So again, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. My name is Joe. I look forward to seeing you in these chat rooms, guys. I look forward to seeing you with my live stream. I look forward to seeing the Bills continue to succeed, and I look forward to watching Robert Foster and his young career continue to grow. I look forward to all that, but we'll see if it happens soon. Until then, go Bills.